440 customers that have buying signals, all right? What's neat about this, though, is that you can see that 12 of these customers do not have an active lead. So they're not in any kind of lead nurturing process. They're not in any kind of follow-up plan. So therefore, there's no engagements that are occurring between your dealership and those 12 people. Now, what AI does is it even tells you out of those 12 people, which of them are the most likely buyers, which of them are furthest along in their car buying journey and are most likely ready to make a decision or start going through the actual buying process. And so if you want to say, well, hey, 12 customers, no active leads that have been online shopping and researching, and out of those 12, 2 of them are ready to buy. Who are those people? It's a simple click. It then takes you into this report, and this report shows you who those customers are. And from here, you can see things like, what sales rep that customer is associated to, what BD agent they're associated to, when the last time it was that they were online shopping. We can show you things like when the last time they were contacted by somebody at your dealership. We can show you the last time they had a lead and what the status of that last lead was. And even give you the ability, I'm sorry, I'm getting a call here. Let me turn that off. My apologies. But even see things like, what the customer's interests are, such as, hey, what's their budget? What price range vehicles have they been researching? What body style vehicles have they been researching? Have they been leaning towards a certain make or a certain model? Tells us those kinds of things in this report here.
I think that's where we couldn't find that page when you were looking for active leads with no follow-up.
So,
I think
from the
this
sales manager's perspective, I'm saying, oh, awesome, I need it.
that is awesome. I think it's so encumbersome that as sales managers, when I start digging through all these, I forget where to go half the time because there's so much. You guys have so much, and it just seems to be very encumbersome. You literally have to take a class for a week just to figure out how to work everything. And if you get away from it, like you leave the store, come back to the store, it's a learning process all over. I keep thinking, is there shortcuts or ways so that we don't have to dig in 5 pages to get to one thing? We're looking at another CRM system that is so easy and so everything's on the front page, Yep. It may not have as much intelligence as yours does, but from a manager perspective, it's not as encumbersome as Vin Solution is.
Okay, so to make this a little bit easier, right? You come into your dashboard as a manager today, and on your dashboard, and I'll show you what every dashboard can be kind of customized a little bit differently, but this is kind of the standard dashboard. And on this dashboard, you're able to see over here on the right, for instance, here's all customers that are coming in for appointments today. And out of those customers, you're able to see things like who are the customers that have those buying signals. You'll notice there's a little icon of a light bulb.
I don't think we have that.
This is a separate product that you got to add on, right?
Right. So that's what's confusing me, because we don't have that product. So do you have an idea what products we have that
I do.
As opposed to us looking at, so we know if I was looking at the screen where I would go to, or I guess, I don't know, I guess we'll have to look into maybe that product.
Absolutely. So I know what products you have today. And
Okay.
Coming into this, I wanted to make sure that you're aware of everything that we offer.
Okay.
And that's why I started with the automotive intelligence, because number one, it's our newest product. Number two, I feel like this is where typically for most buyers, their journey begins online, right? And they're doing research online. And the advantage of this product is how it can start helping you to identify, people that are above your sales funnel. They're not even in your sales funnel yet.
Right.
And how it can give you kind of key information to allow you to pursue those customers proactively and do so to get them into your funnel. So that's kind of why I started with AI.
Right, because I'm looking at it going, man, I have not seen that little icon, so now that I know that we don't have that helps me.
Yep. So, I mean, and I agree with you. If you just wanted, all in one page encompassing as a manager, this is typically, when you log into Vin Solutions to the CRM portion, this is the first screen that you're greeted with. And on this screen, the easiest place to find those buying signals is as you can see, folks, for instance, that are coming in for appointments.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're just wanting to say, hey, show me folks that aren't coming in for appointments,
right,
that have those buying signals, you can, that dashboard I had opened, you can just come in, you can say, hey, here's everybody that's got buying signals, and it's ranking those customers based on the folks that are ready to buy, the folks that are actively shopping, the folks that are kind of casually browsing, and then the people that aren't yet actively shopping yet.
That's new to them. AI
Okay.
is, so
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not been in that report.
Okay.
I like that report. That's a nice
Yep.
report.
So
Those
let me-
12 people that you were showing us, those are people that weren't even in the funnel, that just was showing us that are in our database that had been looking on the internet or
Yep.
what have you, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's, okay.
Those buying signals are triggered based on analyzing customers'
They had no
behaviors
active
online.
lead with, yeah.
So, with the AI program, does the CRM do any communication on its own with the customers? Or does it just basically let you know that there's potentially somebody in the market?
Great question. So with the AI right now, what it's doing is it's analyzing your customers and what their behaviors are, and what their communications are, and giving you information. It's not communicating yet. We have an enhancement which will be rolled out at this upcoming January, which is going to be called Vanessa. It's going to be a virtual communication assistant AI. So for instance, like, let's say somebody submits a lead from your website. What can happen is that lead comes in, it gets assigned, and then this Vanessa AI can start engaging that customer via email, via text message,
It's coming in
and start,
January.
pre-qualifying
Their
them, finding
AI.
out things like if they have a trade, what other vehicles they might be interested, what price they're
And we don't
typically,
have this. We don't
hoping
have
to be
the
at, or payment they're
AI
looking to be at.
intelligence on our Vin
But
solution,
right now,
where you can pull up
and
people
the
that
way
are
the
even
status is
searching
today,
in our market.
No,
Whether they're
but
in
that's
our
something
database
that's
or
coming.
not, you can.
Okay,
Yeah, you
thank
can
you.
see that.
Pretty slow.
Yep. The other really cool thing that the AI does too is it also analyzes customer messages. So any time a customer emails or sends in a text message, it reads it for you, and then it determines what the sentiment of the customer message is and what the purpose of the customer's message is. So you guys are getting tons of communications, right, from customers on a daily basis. And so on this dashboard, you have the ability to see every communication that came in that had negative sentiment. You're also able to see every customer message that came in that had positive sentiment. And then on top of that, you can even see what messages have come in and what the purpose behind the message was. So over here, we'll show you things like messages that came in from customers that were pricing related, messages that came from customers that were requesting a call to action, customers that were providing feedback, messages that came from customers that were providing you feedback. And so this can really help to ensure things like, satisfaction. Maybe there's a customer out there that has asked a question and feels like they haven't received an answer, and they're frustrated. And what they do is they send a message saying, "Hey, look, I'm really frustrated. I've asked this question 3 times. You haven't come back to me with an answer yet." If that's something that's happening, it could be that it's not being seen by the right eyes, such as the sales managers. And there's a chance that customer could, walk away really frustrated, and it could turn into a bad online review. And so with this AI also analyzing the customer messages and showing you, like, for instance, which ones came in that were feedback, that were negative, you can get your eyes on it faster and make sure that those customers are, engaged appropriately, right? So that's another key thing that the AI does. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so let's kind of, great questions. I love the engagement. So we kind of started off with, how the AI can help you find a sales opportunity. Let's fast forward that, we reached out to that customer, we had a great conversation with that customer, and ultimately that customer, is agreed to come in and have us appraise their vehicle and is eager to take a look at one of our new model trucks or SUVs. I want to walk you through the sales process and just how fast and efficient that sales process can be. And it's all going to start here from the mobile application. Now, the mobile application I see is something that you have currently right now. And I see it looks like some driver's licenses are being scanned in. Is that something that you feel is being pretty well embraced by all the staff?
No.
No.
But we're going to make them embrace it.
Force hog.
So it's beneficial for a couple of reasons. Number one, the salesperson that has the that meet and greets the customer on the lot, they can start the car deal, they can start the road to the sale, and they never have to leave the customer's
Especially
side.
with tablets.
So I'm going to show you, just how easy it is and how quickly this can be to scan in the customer, how it can help to improve the quality of the customer data, and such as, correctly spelled last names, addresses, things like that. And how it also helps, the salesperson from not having to leave the side of the customer during the road to the sale. So right now, I'm going to pretend I'm the salesperson, right? I'm going to pretend the customer, let's say, showed up for the appointment and wants us to appraise their vehicle and wants to test drive. So at this point in time, it's simple. Jump into the mobile app. From the mobile app, there's just a little button in here that says Add a Customer. So we're going to click Add Customer. It gives us the option of scanning the license or manually inputting the customer information. In this example, I'm just going to scan the license. So what we'll do is we'll hit Scan License. That's going to activate my camera. And then all I've got to do is, set that license down on the hood or the trunk of the car, as I'm standing next to the customer on the lot. Maybe we just got done doing the walk around and they want to take it for a test drive. At that point, I scan the front, okay? What it's going to do is it's going to store an image of that customer's license so we can print it out in just a little bit for our deal jacket. And then it's also going to ask us to flip it over and scan the back, right? And so what that's doing is it's reading the barcode on the back of that license. It's checking the DMV record, and then it's importing the information from that record. So in a second, you'll notice it's going to put my first name, my last name, my address, city, state, zip code. That's all up there. Now we understand, people move, for instance. So, maybe I just recently moved 2 months ago and I haven't gone to the DMV yet and gotten my new license. The license, the information that's pulled from the license can be changed. So, if I'm now at a new address, it's pretty simple. Just as you can see, I can go in here and I can change it.
God, that'd make our life easier, wouldn't it?
Is that something we
Yeah.
currently have now?
Yeah, on their mobiles, but half of them don't use their mobile, but they're gonna have to when they have the tablet, cause they ain't gonna have a, what I mean, so they can scan it with their tablet and
Yeah.
they'll be forced to use it, cause
Cause they can download this app on their phone as well.
Yeah, it's
And
on
then
their
It goes
phone.
in
They
their
don't-
app, not in their phone.
yeah.
Right.
But we're not doing that either.
Well, some of them are, some of them use it.
Are they communicating with the customer through the app or through their cell phone?
Well,
It
Cause
loads
they
up
know it's
in-
their phone, but they still should be operating through Vin Solutions.
yeah, so if they call the customer or text out, they would turn on their app and use that.
And use that, okay.
Right.
And that automatically loads it
Into
into,
the CRM.
Yeah, any
The CRM.
communication, then
Yeah.
we can see it as managers.
So
You can
we
even
just don't
scan
have 100%
trays.
compliance.
Well,
with that.
yes.
Got you. So
And that's what we gotta work on, especially scanning the ID. Every person that comes in for a test drive, we should scan their ID.
No doubt.
Cause then we'll have a record of them if we ever wanna, and that's why it's important for us to get email addresses, even if they're going on a test drive.
Yeah.
Cause then we can send out information to them later, you know? But Justin's on that, he's already been working on that, making sure they're doing it.
So we've got the information. Let's say you got the license. Obviously, they can enter any kind of additional contact information like phone number. So I just jotted in my cell phone number, email address, and then what's going to happen is we're going to check to make sure that that customer is not already in your CRM. Because the last thing we want to do is give salespeople the ability to create duplicate records of customers that are already in your CRM. The problem that happens is if you've got a lot of duplicates is you might have two different salespeople working the same customer, or you might have that customer is in two different follow-up processes, which means they're getting 2 emails, they're getting 2 phone calls, they're getting 2 text messages. So what's happened here is it's checked the database and it's looking to see if there's any matching information. Like, for instance, is there any other first names that phonetically match Robert? Is there any last names that phonetically match to George? It's then looking at the streets, looking to see if there's other streets that are identical, if there's other cities, states, zip codes that are identical, cell phone numbers, home phone numbers, work phone numbers that are identical, and then email addresses. So it's telling us right now that, hey, pump the brakes. We see there's Robert DeGeorge is already in here. There's another person named Robert DeGeorge, and 71% of the information is an identical match. So this is, indicates that, look, no need to create a duplicate record. Let's merge any new information into the existing record. So like, let's merge his driver's license and photo into the new record. Let's merge his new address into the existing record. Okay, so we'll do that. And then the last step is, they're going to say, hey, this is if they're creating a new lead for the customer, they could just come in here and they say, hey, he's a walk-in, and he came into from as a lot up or whatever you want to the source. Let's just say we're going to do we'll say it was that buying signal. All right. And then this is the merge. So again, new address I want to update. So for here it's going to saying that, hey, look, we already have an address for that customer, but hey, we put in a new one, so we're going to roll with that new address, and we're going to save that new address. Okay. Pretty simple. That took me, all of maybe 2 minutes to do that. I could go even faster if I wasn't explaining everything. Now that we've got that customer, we can associate them to the vehicle that they're wanting to test drive. It's as simple as clicking on there's little vehicles tab. Now, what we can do is we can add a vehicle of interest by scanning a QR code or the VIN barcode of the window sticker, or we know specifically what stock number. We can just jump in and we can put in the stock number of the vehicle that they're interested in. And I'm sorry, I accidentally clicked the wrong button. So this is the screen where they can search inventory. So maybe the customer initially came in looking at a certain stock number, and they're also asking us, hey, do you have this same year, make, model, trim in pre-owned, or do you have one that's certified pre-owned? They can do a search right from the app, and this way they're not having to run inside to check, to see if the used car manager can tell them the answer if they have that car, same year, make, model, trim in pre-owned, for instance. Now, I know you guys obviously are Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. My demo account that I've set up, guys, it's got all Honda inventory. So I'm just going to jump in here and I'm going to just associate my customer here to a Honda, and we're going to go ahead and add that as the vehicle of interest. If there's other vehicles the customer's interested in, those can also be associated. So in this case, you can see there's the primary vehicle, that Honda Accord, and then there's that other vehicle I'm interested in, which let's just say is the Acura MDX. Also my trade, right? So salesperson wants to make sure that that trade gets appraised, so by the time we come back from the test drive, we're ready to rock and roll. Doing that's really simple. They just click the trade-in button, and then from the trade-in button, they can scan the VIN barcode. So I'm just gonna show you that process. I'm gonna hit scan. That's gonna activate my camera, and then I've got a barcode here on my other computer screen. Let's see if I can scan it. There it goes. And you'll see it just decoded that VIN number. And then the last step is enter the mileage, and we're off to the races.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Now, does that have the capability of pushing to our V Auto when they scan it through their VIN Solution mobile app?
Yes. So, and I'm glad you asked. So, at this point in the process is where the V Auto integration comes into play. The salesperson obviously just entered the customer and the trade. Now, what they can do is they can push down at the bottom of my cell phone. There's a button that says Push to V Auto. And when they click that Push to V Auto button, it's going to initiate, and all of the customer information, the salesperson that's associated to that customer, and then the vehicle information is going to carry into your V Auto appraisal screen.
That's what they
and
need to
notify,
use.
We have redundancy there now.
those that have access to V Auto that there's a new appraisal waiting to be
But
appraised.
this is the way to do it, because it'll pull up the customer's
Can
name
it go
and
the other way
information.
also? Can you put it in Provision and pull into Vin Solutions?
It cannot. So it cannot. You're going to want to put the trade into Vin Solutions and then push it to V Auto.
That's the way to
Once
do
in
it.
V Auto, the one thing that pulls back
Only thing
is
is
when
miss the pictures, though.
you put a number on the trade. So for instance,
you don't have
you
the
say,
customer-
hey, this
you're
is
not putting the
$15,000. I want to hit it at
customer
$15,000. You put in that appraised
This one,
value
that,
in V
this one,
Auto.
that.
You save it. It will
So
then
it's better to
pull
pull
that
that.
$15,000
Mm-hmm.
amount into Vin Solutions, so that when you roll into
How
the
do you
desking
get- that's
to
the
desk the
question. How do
deal,
you get the pictures?
the appraised amount's
What
already
do you
in
mean,
there.
the pictures?
Can you put pictures in there when you put the trade in, or is there?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that there is kind of a workaround to. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as just simply taking the photos from the Vin Solutions app and then logging into V Auto and being able to see the photos. So what I typically suggest is they enter the trade in first, and then if they have the V Auto app, they can go into the V Auto app and take the photos. Or the other option is they can come into the customer record, and there's this little button that says attachments. And from this attachments, they have the option of taking pictures and having those pictures store.
From their phone.
Yeah. So like, if that's the vehicle, for instance, right? Just little model car there. Just hit use photo, and then they can come in here and they can say, hey, this is, picture of trade.
I just feel like that creates a little bit of a hang up though, because
Yeah, but they already have Provision on their phone that they're already doing that through, so it's just as simple to continue to take the pictures, isn't it? Through Provision.
well, what they're saying is enter the trade through Vin Solutions.
Which is
Yeah, but
really,
still
Pulls
go.
into Provision,
Yeah.
and then they can add the pictures.
and then they can still take pictures with their phone, and then
Yep.
they'll just have to do that
So instead of
modification.
entering it twice, they enter it one time into,
I think the biggest problem with
Solutions.
V Auto is they never complete the information, customer's name, phone number, email address, and VIN solution, or in V Auto. Because if I'm looking to buy a car, all they give me is the VIN number, and half the time I have to go out and ask the customer's name, their address.
This way, it
And this
automatically
will
puts
push.
all the
Yeah.
information in the
Yeah.
V Auto.
We just had to demonstrate to them, how you take the picture, and you can still go to VIN and put the pictures in and upload it,
So yeah,
everybody.
they have the V Auto app right now. They can bounce out of like the Vin Solutions app, and then they can go into the Provision app. And from the Provision app, they can then go in and access the appraisal page, pull up the vehicle.
And the pictures there too.
Yeah.
You're just clicking an extra button if they got it on their phone already.
Now, there's, that's just one of the, that integration right there, the ability to push pretty much all other CRMs have to an extent. What's different with Vin Solutions and V Auto is what I'm about to show you. There's about 4 different exclusive features that you gain when you use Vin Solutions and V Auto together. And the first exclusive feature, you guys can benefit when appraising the vehicle. So what I'm going to show you here is let's imagine the salesperson put in the customer, they put in the trade, they've got the customer associated to the vehicle of interest. We're now, sitting inside and we get the alert as managers that tells us, hey, there's a new appraisal. From that appraisal screen, right, when we pull up the vehicle, and just to show you a better example, let me pull up a different one. There's going to be in V Auto, in the upper right-hand corner of the appraisal screen, there's going to be a little blue box. And this is called customer wish list matching. Now, I know when I was selling cars, this was right around when the Chrysler 300 just came out, the new body style came out. We had a lot of people coming in looking for pre-owned ones, pre-owned Chrysler 300Cs specifically. We just didn't have any of them. And so typically, if I had a customer I was trying to, sell that I wasn't able to flip onto a different vehicle, I would tell them, hey, look, if we get one traded in or we see one at the auction and we get it, I'll call you as soon as I've got one. Typically, that call never happened because I just didn't have an easy way to keep track of what vehicles my customers were looking for and be able to get that information to my used car manager. In Vin Solutions, I would have benefited from a thing called wish list. So for instance, let's say that Jason came into your dealership 3 weeks ago, and Jason was looking for, a specific, let's say, pre-owned vehicle, maybe he had to have a 2016 or 2017. He's looking for, a Jeep Grand Cherokee that's got less than, let's say 50,000 miles on it. If you didn't have that vehicle, you could put Jason's vehicle that he's looking to buy as a wish list in Vin Solutions. What happens is that as you appraise vehicles in V Auto, if you happen to be appraising one of those Grand Cherokees that matches the description of what Jason came in 3 weeks earlier looking for, it's going to show you up here in the top right-hand corner how many customers match that vehicle. So when you're appraising, you now know, hey, I've got 2 potential buyers. I know how to get out of this vehicle before I ever get into it, right? So you'll see here, you can click on it. It'll show you the names of the 2 customers. And from here, you can also see how long they've been looking for the vehicle. And then if you wanted to, for instance, try and line up a buyer before you actually appraise the vehicle, it's as simple as clicking on the name of the customer. That takes you back into Vin Solutions to the customer's profile, where you can now, send a text message, pick up and call, send an email, and say, hey, look, great news, Blake, man. I know you came in 3 weeks ago looking for this vehicle. I'm about to take one in on trade. This thing's beautiful. It's this paint. It's got this many mileage, so on and so forth. And see if you can get set up an appointment to get him to come in and take a look at it. If you're pretty confident that you're going to be able to take it in.
It will automatically and then alert the salesman that there's something that matches your wish list.
Yeah.
So it alerts them 2 different times then, you can see.
Well, I showed Brian how to do that, and then I got in a vehicle that was matched, but never did send an alert to him.
Well, it
I
will
don't
send an
recall ever
alert.
seeing that blue box on an appraisal ever.
Well, some of these,
We don't
is that a
have any-
function that
some
we
of
currently
the-
have?
I'm sorry?
Is that a function that we currently have, the wish list on the provision side?
no.
Yes. That's something that if you're using V Auto Provision and you have Vin Solutions that you should have, or that you do get for no additional cost. If you have set up wish lists for
I don't have anybody
customers,
put
you're
wish
not
lists.
seeing this
Nobody's
blue
doing
box,
that.
because it should
Or
be
is it
there
second
every
trigger?
single time. Regardless if the number is 0 or if the number is 2 or if the number is 6, it should always be there.
We'll check.
If it's not there, then what that tells me is that we need to go in and we need to make sure that it's a setting, that setting is enabled. Because it's if you're not seeing that blue box, that's telling me that there's a little button that we need to click
Safety of provision.
Yeah,
to
wish
enable
list, we got it.
I
this,
mean,
that
do you
wish
have it
list
on the
match to
provision
occur.
side? Like if
Well, the provision side is again, it wouldn't extract the information. I thought it couldn't extract information from vAuto. So it can extract that information from vAuto and put it into VIN when I'm looking at a vehicle for an appraisal? Or is it, we're going through the appraisals through VIN Solutions also?
No, you're doing the appraisals in vAuto,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're in vAuto and you've got a vehicle loaded up, it's going to show you, like for instance, in this case, 2 customers that match the vehicle that you're appraising.
It's from Vin Solutions.
But that blue box should always be there regardless if there's a match or
It
not.
should always be there, regardless if you're appraising a vehicle that customers are looking for or not looking for.
Curious to see that. I don't recall ever seeing that, but I guess.
Okay, yeah, because I've talked to several salesmen and showed them how to use the wish list. And again, we'll just have to check the settings and make sure that it's functioning properly, because we did have one of the salesmen and I told him to load up a particular vehicle, and then when I looked at it, it did not trigger any signals for him. So I'll just have to look at it again.
Yeah, I'll look into that too. I'll be curious to see because there's a setting here called under dealer settings. It's called appraisal service setting, and so
Okay.
I'll take a look and make sure that it's enabled, so that you guys are being able. It sounds like you're not being able to see that right now,
Right.
and we can get that fixed for you.
All
What
right.
about this? There is a few other things. So, for instance, when inside of Provision, if you're looking at your pricing or your merchandising, you have the ability to now drop in a column that says VIN leads.
We got
Yeah,
that.
we got that.
We use
Okay,
that.
you see that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's,
We got it.
Yeah, I click it on. If I see something that's matching, I click it on and pull right to VIN Solutions and show us the customer and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Price
So I
drop.
So that
probably
Price
save
drop.
5 deals a month doing that.
Okay. One other thing I want to make sure that you're aware of is under Provision, there'll be a tab that says service appointments. Now, this is something, another exclusive feature that you gain. Granted, we're able to import your service appointments from your DMS provider. And forgive me, I'm not familiar. What DMS provider are you with right now?
CDK.
CDK.
CDK. Okay, so CDK, do you know if it's the Drive, CDK Drive? Is that the version? Do you know? It's okay if you don't, I
I
can look.
believe so. I believe so, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so if it's the Drive version, then you will be able to see service appointments because the way it works is we'll take service
We don't have
appointments
that
from
drop-down
Drive, CDK Drive. Meaning Vin Solutions takes the service appointments from CDK Drive, and then we feed them into Provision. And this feature is an excellent feature to leverage to be able to source inventory that aligns with your stocking strategy right from your upcoming service appointments. And can potentially save time and money, right? By being able to spot folks, for instance, that are coming in with vehicles that, vAuto tells you need in inventory right now. And be able to see here in about one click if that customer has equity, and then in another click how quickly or how easy it is to serve up an appraisal, so that when they do come into service, you can walk out there with a printed out appraisal and say, hey, look, we'd love to buy this back, and it looks like you're getting ready to exceed the bumper to bumper warranty, and using your equity, we can get you into a brand new vehicle and get you back under bumper to bumper
I don't
warranty.
think we have that tool.
And do so for a similar payment. So just to show you an example of that, it's pretty simple. You can see on the left here are all the upcoming service appointments. And from here, let's just say, we want this 2017 vehicle.
I was actually about to ask him that question. So are we setting our service appointments through CDK or through VIN?
No, they're being set through CDK, but all of the closed ROs for all of the follow-up work and all of that goes into VIN Solutions.
How come we're not setting them through VIN so that we can track them when they're
I don't
coming
know,
in?
I mean, ask them, that's just not a feature that we had ever
I don't know
looked
if we're
at.
set up for that even.
Yeah, because that way, as salesmen and sales managers, we'll know if Joe's coming in to get his truck worked on, and
When we
we can take him out of the truck if it's.
when we were with dealer track, it
Mhm.
would populate where it would show if someone was
Yeah,
gonna be in the
because they-
service drive.
They own dealer track. So.
I don't know if CDK has that feature. When I called CDK to ask them about the service portion of it, what they could do for us, they can't do anything unless we're with e-leads, and even then, they have to add on another type of program to handle our service stuff.
So, can we set appointments through Vin Solutions?
Great question. So with Vin
And
Solutions,
will
service
that push to
appointments,
CDK?
service appointment setting is not a feature that we provide. X-Time, our sister company, that's their product. They offer service scheduling,
I don't think that
and
works with CDK.
it does integrate with Vin Solutions. So if you're using Vin Solutions and X-Time, you would be able to set up service appointments within Vin. We would be able to also, when service appointments are set, we're going to be able to pull them and show you those service appointments in Vin and in vAuto. So that's the solution, to kind of eliminate having to set service appointments in different systems and logging in and logging out of different systems. That's the most efficient way to do it, is if you use Vin and vAuto together. However, with CDK, if it's the CDK Drive DMS and service appointments are being set in CDK Drive DMS, those service appointments can be imported to Vin Solutions.
I don't know if we're drive.
That's good.
So
Have to check
I
into
would, I'd like to maybe look into if there's something there's a disconnect on the settings where we're not talking to that portion of CDK. Granted, it is
You guys are
CDK
pulling
Drive.
up service appointments, right? In
Yeah.
the mornings? And how are you pulling them up? Through Provision or Vin Solution?
Vin Solution shows the
So,
service.
so we must be using Drive. If they're setting appointments through CDK and he's
Yeah.
able to pull them up in the morning, then at least
Yeah.
we know they're communicating. Okay.
Okay, yes.
Thank
So
you.
you're saying that right now, you can go in and into Vin Solutions, there's a little drop down that says service appointments, and if you click on it, you're seeing appointments come in.
I'm talking,
Let me,
you're
let me
using
pull it up.
Provision.
Yeah, if you,
Let's,
We got the service appointments the same as they have, so we can see that part of it.
Jen
Alright.
says we're CDK Drive.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
Good.
So look into Vin and see if you can pull
We
it
are
up.
on CDK Drive.
Yeah. Give us just a minute.
okay, yeah, no worries.
See if you see anything that has service appointments.
Yeah,
Service appointments right there.
they're in there.
Click it
Yep, I
on.
see them.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so they're communicating. That's good.
That is good. So, since they're being imported into Vin, I would now want to make sure that you're seeing them in Provision, because again, that's a free feature that you gain when you use Vin and Vin Solutions and vAuto Provision together. And we have said that yes, we are getting those service appointments, so we know that's happening. Now what we want to do is just make sure that those are being imported into Provision.
They are, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Excellent.
That's
Excellent.
good.
So what you can
That's a
start
great
doing
tool.
now, if you're looking to source pre-owned vehicles and try and spend maybe a little bit less time and money at the auctions, this is a great place to start doing it. For instance, we can come in here and we can say, hey, show us folks that are coming into service here that have upcoming appointments, that are bringing in vehicles that vAuto Provision says that we need in stock. And so as you go through the list here, you can spot hey, here's a customer that's got a B minus, their vehicle's a B minus, vAuto says we need 11 of them. We click on it, click on the name of the customer over here on the right. And then what that does is that takes us into that customer's record in Vin Solutions. And the
Nice.
beauty here is the fact that it will display the equity or the estimated equity in the vehicle.
'Cause you guys are gonna be
if the
doing data
customer
mining too,
bought
right?
that vehicle from
I'm
you.
gonna ask you
Okay,
about
and the
it.
reason why is because we can calculate the estimated equity because we know what the terms of the deal were. We acquire that sold deal information from CDK. Now, if it was, somebody that's bringing in a vehicle to be serviced that they didn't buy from you originally, we don't have the sales record. We don't know the details behind it, so we're not able to calculate or estimate the equity on it. So if you see, sometimes you click onto a customer and you'll see that there's no equity, that's telling us that that vehicle was purchased elsewhere.
Yeah, that's a person we need to reach out and contact and try to get them on board with us.
Is that part, is your target activated on this demo?
Yeah, so.
We don't have that.
Yeah, so another neat feature that we offer with as an add-on to our CRM.
Should we be writing down the prices on these added-on features now as we're
free,
using them?
Certainly. Yeah,
No, that's an
90 day
add-on.
That targets what, he's got that activated, it's an equity mining tool that shows
Okay.
all that
That's
stuff.
like $700 a month, I think.
Okay.
That's what they have.
Could you tell them a little bit about the target and how that interacts?
Yeah, absolutely. So with Target, it's our optional equity mining solution. We offer two different versions of it. Our first version we call Target Pro. The sticker on it is $7.99 a month, and then there's Target Pro Plus, and the sticker price on it, or MSRP, is $11.99 a month. Now, the difference between those two products is that with the Target Pro Plus, which is the $11.99 a month, we actually provide a managed marketing service. So what we'll do is we'll go into your database each month, and we'll start finding customers that are in equitable positions, that are eligible to use the equity to get into a newer model vehicle for similar to lower payment. And then we can start engaging those customers via email with different types of promotions.
Right.
For instance, like
That's
one-to-one vehicle buyback offers, and I can show you a few examples of the designs and what they look like. The nice thing about the Pro Plus, although it is a little bit more expensive, it's the benefit is the managed service and the fact that they're going to create 10 campaigns for you each month. They're going to find the most the best opportunities in your database for you, and then they're going to actually create the offers or the content of the campaigns for you as well.
Can I ask,
And
can those be split
this is
between
the
service?
dashboard. So for instance, with either Target Pro Plus or Target Pro, you can come into this dashboard and you can say, all right, hey, let's look at folks that, let's say previously financed, Ram 1500s, for instance, right? And let's find folks that have equity in those Ram 1500s that are now eligible to upgrade to a new 2020 or 2021 Ram 1500 for within $50 a month of their current payment. Target allows you to go find those folks. And here's an example of a list of folks that, have a specific model that previously financed it, that are eligible to get into a newer for a similar payment. And so what you can do is you can take this list and you can start assigning calls so that your salespeople can begin engaging these folks on the phone. Say, hey, great news, you're qualified to get into a newer vehicle, and you can do so for a similar monthly payment. On top of that, we can also send out an email. So on Target Pro Plus, we'll send out the email for you. And just to kind of give you a visual of what the actual offer can look like, I'm going to pull up a few real world examples here so you can see.
I got a question for you. So when your AI is integrated with able to text customers and stuff, will she be able to take over this program as far as sending out an email, or if a customer responds to the email, will she be able to have an intelligent conversation? Or
Yes. So our AI that is not out currently, but we are scheduled to release in January, called Vanessa. She will be able to communicate with customers. So for instance, if for instance, let's say that you are the customer of my dealership and you previously financed, let's just say this Infiniti Q70 that you see. And this month I went in and I found all my customers that previously financed that model that had equity, and I sent them the offer that you see here on the left. And this offer hit your inbox, and you opened up and you looked at the offer, and then from here you clicked on the link into my website, and then you went to Kelly Blue Book, what happens is the way our AI stands right now is it's going to start sending buying signals to your salesperson, which is telling your salesperson that, hey, look, pay attention because this offer was not only opened and looked at by your customer, but they're also, recently been online researching other similar models, and also went to Kelly Blue Book to do a trade estimation to find their trade value. Now with Vanessa, the plan is that if you reply back as the customer to the offer, for instance, that you see here on the left, the Vanessa will be able to actually communicate automatically.
Right.
Through however you reached out, whether it was text or email.
Right. And then we'll be able to see it as managers that Vanessa's in contact with these people, and at a certain point we would take over. Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yes. Yep. So with Target Pro Plus, you get the 10 different campaigns that are generated on a monthly basis for you. Some of the examples, like what I've shown you here, are folks that are typically will go after your top 5 selling models, folks that have equity in your top 5 selling
Guess that'd
models
be cheaper than
that are
hiring somebody
eligible to get
else
into a
just to
newer
do that,
model for
wouldn't it?
similar to lower payment. Another popular campaign is folks that have a lease ending,
So it's a lot, it's a
let's say in the next
fraction
6
of what
months,
these people
we'll
charge.
start reaching out
They
to
don't
them.
send emails out like these templates on it.
Mm-hmm. But he said that in January, then Vanessa will be able to contact too. Yeah.
It's a-
And that starts.
And it's not just sales too. So for Target Pro and Pro Plus, you can also do service campaigns. So for instance, a popular segment of customers to start targeting is folks that have bought but have never been into service before. And what we can do is start engaging those customers with service offers, oil change promotion here, for instance. We'll also find customers that maybe have been in service, but it's been maybe 2 years since their last visit, right? We'll start engaging those customers with different kinds of service promotions to try and get them to come in and service with you versus going elsewhere.
Gotcha.
Hey, I want to set something up eventually so you can show us that with the service manager up here and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, be happy to do that. And then the other big thing that makes life easy too, kind of going back to when we're in V-Auto provision and we spotted a customer that's coming into service, that has a vehicle that we know we need to stock in our pre-owned inventory. Well, when you pull back into VIN Solutions from V-Auto to that customer record, you can see the equity that they have, and then there's a button that says Generate Offer. And so it's really easy here in about 2 clicks where you can click that Generate Offer button, and then what Target's going to do is it's going to allow you to come in and pick a new model vehicle to propose to that customer. So, if they're bringing in that 18 Ram 1500 SLE, and they've got equity in it, and you want to show them, an upgrade to a newer Ram 1500 SLE, you just click on that model, and then from there, you pick what kind of design you want to put the offer on, and then you hit next, and it's going to show you the offer. So this is an example of one of the designs where it can say, hey, great news. We see that you're driving this vehicle right now, and this is your payment right now. We can get you into this newer model for this payment over here on the left.
Nice.
Why would anybody want that Honda?
Generate an offer.
Yeah,
It's
the
amazing,
generate
man.
offer button.
Look at all these different
GM
buttons you get.
incentives. So yeah, none of that we have right now.
We would have that with the package that they're
Yeah,
talking about.
he's coming at us at full strength with his demo. Looks like
Yeah.
every weapon in his
Well, I
utility
feel like we're
belt.
missing a few of them, that's for sure.
Okay, yeah, so when I'm looking at, I bounced into your account, just wanted to make sure
Yeah,
that you
at
didn't
least
have
use your mobile
Target.
app if you got it.
And I know that you don't because there would be a button that says generate offer. If we look at a customer.
That'd be something that the managers would do. generate offers and stuff like that.
We can do it for a customer though, too.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but-
Automatically calculate, like, we're
You know,
working a deal.
B2C, or
Yeah.
I don't want the salesman doing that, cause they may have something wrong, you know?
I think it automatically calculates all the incentives and rebates based on their equity. So it automatically, anybody could push, is that right?
I'm sorry?
When it
Yeah, I
generates
didn't
that
hear.
offer, it's taking everything into consideration, all the rebates are loaded and considered, and
Yeah, I thought
Yes.
I thought we were
So-
having problems, you know, on lease offers and stuff like that. We were having problem with the right residuals and everything.
Yeah, the neat thing about those offers is that they're built in our desking tool, and our desking tool, you know, has all the incentives and rebates are being imported from Chrysler, and so you can build out, you know, offers for different models in the desking tool, and those offers can be very accurate because you have the option of putting in things like, you know, the rebate. You can put in, you know, the
don't have
taxes
that
can be
tool either.
calculated into it. You can have, you know, your processing fees, dock fees, license title registration fees, all calculated into it if you want. So it's a very accurate, you know, estimated payment that you're proposing to the customer. And, you know, when you actually sit down and you do pencil the deal, the payment that you initially showed them to get their interest is pretty darn close to when you actually sat down with them and you penciled the deal.
Okay, that little templates, that's manager offer templates, is that something that we set up, or would it be in the system?
Great question. Yeah, glad you asked that. So, going back with Target, there's those two versions that I talked about, right? With Target Pro, that would be your responsibility to go set up those offers. So you would go into the desking tool. In the desking tool, there's this little, what you see here on my screen, it says Manage Offer Templates.
Yeah.
And so you would go in here and you would create, you know, an offer for whatever, let's say model, you know, like a, you know, Pacifica, and then you would pick the Pacifica from your stock, and then you'd set up, you know, what term you wanted the offer to be set up to, and, you know, if you wanted a down payment calculated into it, and the rate, and
Okay.
then from there, that offer is something that.
So it could be customized then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So is that something that we can only do on an individual basis, or is there like a campaign that can be
for each model.
set up around that to, you know,
Yeah,
contact a
so
specific
you can,
group of
absolutely.
customers?
So for instance, let's say that you're looking to, you know, try and upgrade folks that have got, let's say, financed journeys from you, right? And you want to go find folks that have equity in journeys. And you want to find the folks that are
Almost got
eligible to
that.
upgrade to a newer journey that's been sitting around for, let's say, 100+ days that you need to get rid of. That's a loss leader. What you can do is you can come into desking, you can build out the offer for that particular Dodge Journey, and then once that offer is built, you can go into Target, and once you go into Target, you can build a campaign that says, hey, show me everybody that's financed a Journey from us
That's
in
cool.
the past 3 years that has
shit.
positive equity, and show me the folks that are capable to using that positive equity to upgrade to this new Dodge Journey for, you know, within $50 a month of their current payment. And then you can send,
Oh, shit.
you know, those offers will go out to every single one of the
There we
customers
got
that are
some
in that
Cherokee
list.
customers out there.
Yeah. Which are good.
That's a nice tool, I like that.
Yeah,
And that's
I will
part of that
say this,
package.
You know, in my, we've had Target for, I think it's been 5 or 6
A lot
years
better
now.
use of it.
I
Yeah.
saw it when it first came out, and, you know, if you have the people in place
We were in the demo store for
to
free.
generate
for
those
6 months
offers, if you
ago,
have
yeah.
the resources, right? The folks that know, you know, are gonna go in there and create the offers and update the offers and come in here and create the
And stay on
campaigns. Then Target Pro is great. But the nice thing about the Target Pro Plus is with us helping you out,
Automatically does.
you've got somebody that's going in and creating those offers for you and creating the campaigns for you.
And I guess that was my question, is there a way to like automate those
Yeah.
campaigns?
So for $400 more at $11.99, they can do it. Yeah, which is cheaper
Yeah.
than just hiring somebody and paying insurance and just doing that.
One deal is paying for the
Tim,
That what?
Yeah.
Tim Wizard is here for a vehicle.
Okay. Alrighty. You wanna hold that?
That's okay. What
Hold
do
it,
they
yeah.
need to pick up? Do you know?
The Toyota,
The black Toyota?
no, the,
Red one?
red one. the fender, and they probably dropping off that Buick, ain't they?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, we're good.
There you go, camera guy.
Thank you.
You already got that done already, Tim? One day?
No, they had it a week.
All right, so we've gone through a few products here that you don't have right now. We talked about, obviously, the AI. We've talked about the target products. We kind of started off, we went through all the exclusive vAuto integrations between Vin and vAuto. And I kind of want to get back here and just kind of show you how to finish out the deal. So
Okay.
thought we would go into desking and just show you how to desk a deal, and then how that deal can then be finalized, and then how Vin Solutions can help you stay on top of that customer after the sale, to try and get them to come back for service, and hopefully, in the future, get them into a newer vehicle. So from here, we're on the dashboard. We put everything in one place for the manager. On the left side is the showroom activity report. So for you, the manager, you're sitting here, you're looking at what customers are on your showroom. There's Robert, you know what Robert looks like. So if you need a TO, you know who to walk up to. But everything that your salesperson's doing with Robert's going well. Came back from the test drive, and Robert's ready for a proposal. He wants to see some payments. So from here, you can jump right into the desking tool. There's a little 4-square button you click on, and then that's going to load up the desking screen. You're going to start off on a screen that says Create Deal. And basically what you're going to do from this screen is you have the option of picking a deal template. So for instance, if you always want to start a first pencil on a new model vehicle with 3 different terms like 48-month, 60-month, 72-month financing, you can have a template that's built to always show those 3 different terms. You can also preset the rates on those terms to whatever you want, set your down payments to whatever you want. And that way, anytime you go in here and you pick, you're creating you're creating a deal using that template, it's always gonna, be the same exact scenarios each and every time. All right, so I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna create my deal using my template here, which took 2 clicks. You'll now see I've got a variety of payments for my customer. 2 of the terms are financing. There's a 60-month and a 72-month. And then I've also got set this up to show a lease, or 2 leases, 24 and 36. Okay.
We never started dealing with that. No.
This can be set up to show up to 6 terms if you want.
2 or 3 options.
But most typically go with about 2 or 4 is what we see most commonly. So from here, you want to get this proposal to the eyes of your customer. There's a couple ways to do it. Number 1, you can hit print, and when you hit print, you can just click on your printer icon and you can send it over to your printer. Here's an example. There's about, our library contains about 8 different designs of proposals today. What you're seeing can be customized. So for instance, if you maybe want to change some of the terminology on this, we can modify it. If there's maybe something you prefer to show a payment range, we can set it up to show a payment range. So this is just one of multiple examples of what kinds of designs that you can use. So let's say you print it out, and now your salesperson can walk it down and review it with the customer. Now, what we found was, one of the things customers get most frustrated with when it comes to the car buying journey is the amount of time that they feel is spent on negotiation and paperwork. So one of the newest enhancements that we've made to our desking tool, it's a free enhancement, it's called Quick Quote. What Quick Quote does is it allows the sales manager to build the deal and then release the proposal to the salesperson's computer.
I've seen that.
The benefit of this is that you don't have to print it and do the back and forth. So for instance, you're the sales manager. You just built out this first pencil in 2 clicks. You're now ready to release it to your salesperson. There's a little button up here that says on. What that then does is it allows your salesperson that's sitting across the showroom, allows them to have that customer pulled up right on Vin Solutions, and then open up the offer on the screen. So they can say, okay, hey, great news. you know, here's a couple different payment options. We wanted to
Get
go
away
over these
from
with you.
destroying paper.
Yeah, so, you know,
Plus, you know what? You make
again,
it
the goal
logical
here
for
is to
the
try and
customer.
save,
You're not going back and forth.
eliminate the need for the salesperson to have to leave the customer. Because
Sends
when
it right
we leave the customer at the desk, what happens?
Oh, their phone blows up.
Oh, yeah. They start
looking at
getting.
their phone, they
Mhm.
start shopping out, you know,
Yep.
looking at other vehicles, things like that. So this, we designed and created this enhancement to allow the salesperson to stay next to the customer.
So you keep saying enhancement. I just want to ask real quick.
Sure.
So when you have enhancements, do we update? How
This
does
was a
that work?
free enhancement, so you've got it right now.
We've got it.
We do have it?
But we haven't built the template for it or anything.
Okay.
So-
Which I
so-
guess we had to build templates.
They got different examples in there, I think,
We have
6
a
or
lot
8
of
different
temp-
ones that you can
templates for
pick
desk
from or
and
whatever.
deal, don't we? Like 4 or 5?
We do. We generally only use ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
use
haven't
the other
really,
part.
cause, and that was,
Define what we're doing and have one.
that's
template the way
what
we-
Justin was saying whenever we was talking to Drive, is the lease, we couldn't do the lease and the payment at the same time, because obviously we didn't know that you could set it up. And we didn't have that other,
comparison.
manager templates.
Right.
So we'll have to put the manager
So right now
templates
we
on
have to
there.
do, 2
And then-
worksheets, a retail and a lease worksheet.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's
So-
it, yeah.
but once we set up, and I think that's a part of that package, to create templates right here, see? Oh,
Yeah,
So,
there's
we
some-
don't
there's
have
some in
that.
here.
So we don't
Oh,
have that
gotcha.
right now.
Gotcha.
But once we set it up, then it'll be in. Now, the leasing, I guess, will be set up, whoever we pick, Chrysler, Ally,
Well, you can select the
Central.
lessor on the desking tool.
yeah. But once we get that set up, oh my God, I hate paper. Everything. I wish they could sign the tablets, you know?
And I noticed when I print, it prints
So-
two papers, 2 sheets, and the
Right.
back sheets.
Flag
Nothing.
line.
Yeah.
So just I wanted to show it to you out of your account. So I logged into your account here.
Good.
And I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of this, how to use this feature, because you've got it right
We
now.
want to use it, yeah.
So you've got, for instance, I pulled up this customer, looks like,
Oh,
was
there it
working
is.
with Bert Nordman, and his name's Jeff Eckerson. So, you know, when the manager built this proposal, which looks like a lease and a finance, if they want to release this to Bert, so he can show it up, so he can pull it up right on his screen and go over it with the customer here, there's just this button that says on and off. When you click on, that's your way as a manager of releasing that proposal to your salesperson. So your salesperson, you know, he's sitting at the desk there, Bert's sitting at the desk with Jeff. I'm just gonna pull up Jeff's record and show you here. So I think it was Jeff Eckerson, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Eckerson, okay, let me spell the last name, Eckerson. There we go, so there's Jeff. There's Jeff. So now, you know, Bert's sitting with Jeff, and what he's able to do is there's a little icon in the customer record of a $sign. It's up in the top right-hand corner of the customer record. And so all Bert's got to do now is just click on that icon, and then what that will do is it will load up, and he can say, okay, hey, great news, you know, here's your proposal, and, you know, start reviewing it with the customer.
That's nice.
Now, maybe, you know, he's going over it and, you know, the customer says, okay, hey, look, I'd like to see I'd like to see the purchase, and I'd like to, you know, if you get me to, you know, 225, I'll do the deal. What Bert can do now is he can say, okay, let me send that over to my sales manager, and let's see if we can make it happen. So what he can do is he doesn't have to get up and go talk to his sales manager. He's able to come right from this customer record and send a message over to his manager. So he's able to say, you know, hey, Jeff, you know, we'll do the deal at, you know, 72 months if, and I can't spell, we get to 725 payment, you know. And then what he can do is when he hits save, that alert message will go to the assigned manager on this deal. And so that alert will pop up on their cell phone, and he'll get a push notification or an alert on his home screen, which he can click into and then read the message that Bert wrote or typed in. And then he can go back into the deal now, and he can say, all right, can we make 425 happen here at zero down? And he can, and I'm not going to actually do this because I know it's a real deal. But just for example purposes, I would type in 425, and I would click roll, and that's going to show me, how I can help get that, or how I can change my deal to get the customer to that payment. And if I'm comfortable, let's say bumping the trade an extra $800, I can click on that, and it will then change that payment to 425. And then what can happen now is that new proposal can be released, and now Bert can go back into it and pull it back up and say, great news, we got you there. And the whole time Bert never had to leave.
Right.
He's sitting next to the customer.
I like it.
Okay.
I mean, we are getting lazier, so.
Yeah.
People want it.
Right, quick.
Gratification, give me my numbers. I'll say
Right.
yes or no, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
Although
we
when
built
you
the
take
lazy
time to-
Can't take
society.
nothing with them either, the paper.
Yeah.
Can I take
If the
that?
deal's going too sideways, right, that's a concern. How do you look them in the eye and see if they're working you or working the customer?
And that's a valid point, because sometimes they need to step away and have a conversation
A
about
plan.
what's going on.
Yeah. Which they can do that.
Right,
Right.
If they do it a couple times, they're like, crap, I'm getting nowhere, I need to go talk to
right,
Justin and get a plan here,
right.
or a new face, or whatever the case may be.
So, have you had many customers that, have asked for quotes that maybe want those emailed to them? Do you ever get those requests off from customers that maybe want the contactless, buying
Yeah.
experience? You
Yes.
getting that at all?
Yeah.
So another key
here.
thing about the desking tool that can help support, working deals for those customers that, want those proposals or want to try and, work the deal completely away from the premise of the dealership is you can come in here and you can actually, when you go to, when you build your deal, you can actually email the deal. So for instance, if this was the pencil here and you want to email it to the customer, and let's say I'm your customer, there's a little email button up in the top right, click on it, and you can just say circle and sign and email back, please. And then when you hit send, what's going to happen now is that's going to go to my email, and in a second, it's going to pop up on my phone, and I'll be able to sign that proposal and email it back. There it is. So it just hit my inbox, clicked on it, and I'm sorry, so you can see it better here. Let me pull it up. So now I've got that proposal, and I want to go ahead and sign it.
That's what we did.
So I'm going to
Drive
click on
Center
my
had that
little marker.
email.
I'm going to say, okay, hey, I'm good with this, and then I'm going to sign. And then from this point, I'm going to hit done, and I'm going to reply and send it. Okay. And so now, when we come back in, or excuse me, when I close this out and I go to the customer record, that email with that signed copy is going to be in my email, or it's going to be in my customer record. And you can print it out here if you needed to.
That's
There we
nice
go.
that it uploads to the dashboard.
Let's see, what's my customer record? There it goes. All right. And down here, there it is. So at 12:33 p.m., that email came back from our customer. It has an attachment, and we want to take a look at it. So we'll go ahead and open it. And we can save it, save it to your computer if you want a saved copy. It will stay stored in the CRM, but there it is. There's where I circled and I signed, and now you've got you've got a copy here.
That's perfect for nowadays, what's going on. People don't want to come in a store.
No. I always wonder, I think we talked about it, that's what we're missing is that.
Now, we've had the capability, I've emailed a few customers proposals. Didn't look like that screen.
Yeah, I mean, you can't afford anymore nowadays to not correspond that way. You know,
Yeah.
it always used to be get them in, but
Yeah, nowadays you
I may
gotta.
get away from it, cause I'm old school, but we gotta move on.
Yeah, people are moving on. Like you said, instant gratification if they got it or not, or made the deal or
I
not.
want their info now.
When Richard was in here last week, he said he's doing a lot of that at Laura.
Yeah.
Why does he come here?
He just pops in and says hi when he's over here on his day off.
He's not my favorite guy.
He's
He's been trying to recruit our people, trying to.
I think
Yeah.
he sold like 400 cars one year, and I think the total gross we made was
Yeah.
negative 10 grand or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that guy working for me.
Yeah.
I don't like him coming around.
So yeah, I mean, let's just, we send that deal over to the customer, they sign it, and then we're ready to get it over to F&I. At that point, you can push it over to, are you sending your
CDK.
deals through DealerTrack or Route 1?
We're sending to Route 1, and then
Okay.
we would push to DMS, which is our CDK.
Okay, so you're gonna push it to your DMS, CDK
Yeah.
DMS first, and then,
And then
Route
Route
1.
1 if they're financing and we have all the info.
yeah, so from there, you push it, and everything will carry from VIN into CDK, meaning the customer contact information, if there was a co-buyer on the deal, co-buyer, and then of course, your terms, your selling price, your down payment, your length of term, rate, any rebates. So, the other neat thing too, that really differentiates our desking tool apart from other desking tools in the industry are gonna be going back to the V-Auto integration, Let's say a customer was holding the trade from us and we showed our first pencil and then they came back and said, okay, hey, I wanna see my payment with my trade that they never told us about. You can enter the trade in inside the desking screen, and then once you enter the trade in, you'll notice there's a button that says provision. And so,
I've never seen all that.
by clicking that provision button, you can go right into V-Auto provision appraisal screen, and you have the ability to now, appraise
We're
the
just
vehicle
missing
without
some things.
having
Yeah.
to leave the deal.
That provision button should be there.
And now, is that something that we would already have integrated into our system?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't remember seeing those buttons. Maybe they're there and we just never paid attention to them.
So I can tell you right now, when I go back to your account, why you didn't see it. Let me take a quick look for you. It's probably because there's a setting that we need to configure for your username, and that's,
It's on there though.
I said maybe we just didn't see it.
here we go, so. All right, so what I'm looking at right now is in your account, I've just pulled up the V-Auto appraisal settings,
Uh-huh.
and I'm looking to see, there's some users in here that aren't configured.
he's not here anymore anyway, the top one.
Okay.
But Brad is.
so that's probably what it is some people are configured and some are not.
Well, and that goes to us not understanding VIN solution, because I don't know where to go to set things up.
I do though, and that's what I'm setting
We give
for,
them a login automatically,
for
should go.
appraisal.
See, not mapped. Brian Womack, not mapped.
It's not being mapped. They have the button, but it's not mapped. So we'll call and get those fixed today. On the
So
ones
yeah,
that
what
say
we
not
need to
mapped.
do is pretty simple, is we just go into V-Auto.
That's the reason why they're
Go
not
into
pairing
V-Auto.
up. They're VIN and
Oh, some
VR.
of them are not mapped.
Sorry, go ahead.
You just want to make sure that there's a username inside of V-Auto for each person that you want having access to V-Auto, and then there's a username and VIN Solutions And then what happens is we'll just make sure that the users are identical. So you'll see there's a column that says Auto user, and there's a column that says VIN user. We just want to make sure that both, like for instance, just going to use Brad for instance here. We would need to go in and create a user for Brad in VIN, and then we'll just match it up. And then once it's matched, Brad will be able to see, the Auto integrations in VIN, and vice versa.
See
When
the
he'll
little
be able to see the integrations if he's logged into Auto.
buttons there, but when he pushes it, it's not mapped, and that's why it's not.
So we merge them through Vin Solutions, and is that how we do it?
So you'll create, so we would need to create a user for the folks, like in this case, Brad, it
Oh yeah, he
doesn't look
doesn't
like
have
if,
Vin.
or if we
Yeah.
just hit edit,
I gave him then.
Do you
And
have the
does
auto
Brad-
too, the
Yeah.
same name?
there's Brad right here,
Some of
okay.
them-
Okay.
So I can fix it for you right now. I just
Some
hit
of them are
update.
not logging in.
So did you see how he did that? So you can do it. Show her how you found
Yeah,
Brad
you-
again.
So what you'll do is you'll just go to settings, and then you'll go to dealer settings, and you'll click on, it's called the appraisal service settings. As soon as you do that, you're going to click refresh user list from Auto to make sure it's the most current. And then, like for instance, if we look at,
Brian Romack.
okay, so let's look at Brian. So we just go over to Brian and we click on edit, and then we'll click this drop down
Do the map right there.
and we'll select his name. Okay, and then you're gonna click this little update button here on the left.
Yep.
Okay, now once you're done, there's something important that can often get overlooked. There's a save button in the top right hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that we save those changes. Okay, and when we save
That
it,
makes it a lot
that's
easier.
when it's gonna make the connection.
Did this change when you guys went to where you're customizing the settings instead of
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
okay?
this is-
that's where I
Same.
missed the
Yeah.
mapping section then, because I didn't have to do that before.
Yep.
All right.
All right, so that's the reason why some of them are going.
Some of
Yeah,
them are
my
going
VIN
through
it won't attach to Auto.
to Viato,
Right.
but also some of these new guys have not even logged into their email, and they only have 24 hours when I set them up in Provision to accept that in their email, and they're
right,
not
so-
getting into it.
All right, well, let's get them mapped up. Let's get Justin mapped up. Justin ain't neither Justin Jones is it mapped up to Vin Solution either. So we'll get all that taken care of.
Okay. And so let's see, was there anything on desking, any questions on desking, guys? Other than the Auto integration and being able to start using that
Justin
Auto
20?
integration from
Justin 20 for
within
Viato for
VIN?
you?
Hang on one second. Justin had
Jones 20?
Jones 2020.
So Justin, I think the biggest concerns that we had was able to pencil again a payment and lease at the same time, which we didn't know that we could go to manager templates and adjust everything and set up stuff so that we can show a payment and a lease at the same time. That was our biggest concern was, nothing mapped right. The residuals weren't mapping right. Everything wasn't mapping right. Isn't that correct? We'd always have to look them up.
Right, yeah, and I mean, so are you saying that we have the ability to create our own desking templates now, or is that?
You do, yeah. So I can show you. If we go back in here. So you do have the ability to create desking templates. What I talked about earlier, remember we were talking about target and generating those replacement offers?
Right.
Since you don't have target, you don't have the ability to create replacement offer templates, but you do have the
Okay.
ability with our desking tool to create deal templates. So for instance, I'm gonna create one here for you called, purchase, we're just gonna do P versus L, okay? And for instance, maybe, what do you like to show on your down payments?
10%.
Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just flip this and I'll do 10%. Do you like to show a couple down payments, like 3, 2?
We would do 0, 10%,
Okay.
15%.
Okay, all right. We can set this up to, a rate you want to start at. Or you could leave that blank, so you don't have to, you can, just put in a rate.
What are we using now?
5.9.
There's 6.9, isn't it?
6.9,
6.9 is what we're showing initial pencil.
okay.
You can always change it.
The template could be set up to where it's got a term defined, or it could be set up to where it doesn't have a defined term.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, for example purposes, I'm just gonna say 60 months.
Yeah.
okay? And then from here, you also have the option in your template to, program in any kind of rebate. Okay. As well as program any kind of add-ons, so maybe you always want like, a service contract or some kind of accessory to always be, factored into the payment.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some options. But you can see your processing fee, your doc fee.
Right.
Probably this is what, your registration and license, yep.
Yep.
Okay. And so there's the first term is the 60 months, and then let's just say we want to throw a lease in here. Just put in the second column, and then, maybe you want it to be a 36-month lease. And then you can set your money factor to whatever you want. You guys are more familiar with your money factors and residuals than I am. I'm just
Right.
putting in just kind of going off. All right, and your acquisition bank fee, and then whatever the mileage you want it to be. And so, like, that's a very basic one.
Mhm.
You can actually build out, I mean, your template can contain up to 6 different columns here. So you could have, in theory, you could have, multiple purchases and multiple leases,
Well, we use Central the most, I think.
Right.
So how do you like change the layout though?
Change the layout. Can you help me understand, like, on the printed proposal, is that what you're wanting to do?
Yeah.
Change the layout?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say that we're gonna roll with this, this template, right? We're good with it. So what we'll do is let's just say we wanna start a deal. I'm gonna do Rob to George test deal.
Yeah, just
All right.
mapped them.
And then we're gonna say that, I'm interested in, we'll just say this, we'll use this caravan.
Richie DeFeo's the only one
You
who
see
don't
how
have,
you
but
got
he's got a
the
VL.
caravan?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Just
from
check
here,
to see if
guys,
he's
you'll
got
see
one.
there's this drop down, and it's showing you your templates. So I'm just gonna select the purchase versus lease,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna click create deal. Okay. And now from here, if you wanted to make adjustments, you can make adjustments. For instance, if you want to see what incentives and rebates are available, there's a little column that says rebate, and you would just click on where it says AIS, and then this was I think it was it's SE, and then if I'm a tier S, you can come in here and you can say, let's do 60 months, 2,500, 1.9%. Or if you wanted to throw in the $4,200 rebate.
They're in it?
And then I know with Mopar, there's all kinds of rebates, right? And so those are all going to be listed down here. You can click on them to see what the qualifications are. I'm just gonna apply that.
That's what I use whenever I'm doing all these. Except for Central
Mm.
Bank. Maybe we can load their, cause their, money factor is always the same.
Yeah, I don't know. AIG probably doesn't have the central bank information. though.
Well, we get a hold of the bank and,
What sounds better to use, Chargers or Challengers? Chargers, I think, don't they?
what?
Chargers or Challengers, if I could find some used ones.
I bought 3 Chargers.
Oh, that's right. Oh, they were Chargers, okay, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
those are,
so we're good.
SXT pluses with leather and roof.
If we find a Scat Pack or a Hellcat, we should pick them up. Okay, for the right money.
Wide body.
The right
preferably.
money, not from Bob Kelly. None of them that ran into walls.
And so somebody, I forgot who asked, forgive me, I didn't ask, who asked the question.
Oh, that was Justin, I'm sorry, right here behind me.
Yeah,
So
so I was
Justin-
just curious how to like, set up the actual format of the proposal.
Yeah, okay, good question. So from here, there's a little, so next to the preview button, there's this little icon of a gear. You would just click on that button there, and then that's gonna take you into the presentation settings. And so from the presentation settings, these are the ones that we've provided, kind of the general, I think you think of it like a foundation of a house.
Right.
And
That's what we're
if you want to
using
go kind of customize, like for instance, this is called the multi-scenario with vehicle. That's the one you want to change. You just click on it. And then what this is doing is it's saying, okay, these are the things that you want to be displayed, the general information that you want to be have displayed. For instance, you don't want to show the body type of the vehicle, you don't have to show the body type of the vehicle. Or if you don't want the APRs to be shown and the money factors, you can, uncheck those. You can also change the name of things. So for instance, what's a good example? Like down here where it says signature 1, you can, have that labeled whatever you want it to be labeled as. It could be, instead of saying customer signature, it could just say, signature.
Right, or
Okay,
purchase.
so just to clarify the question,
I'll
so
be right out.
you guys create the base templates and then we just modify from there, I guess is my
Name of the lady that did it.
So when it comes to the presentation templates, yes.
Okay.
The
That
deep
was
templates
specifically
that
the
you
question.
start to deal with, you create those.
Okay.
So we can create or change or whatever we
Yeah,
want.
we can modify based on what they
Right, and then set up our other templates to
are. Right.
lease and purchase.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then once you've got it, created, you have the option of just hitting preview. And then once you hit preview, you'll see like whatever default presentation you've got as your default, it's always going to show that one. However, if you want to change it, maybe you like, there's a different one in here that you like, you can just pick that one from the drop down and it's going to show you what the proposal would look like and from using that other design.
I got you.
Awesome.
Okay. And then print it or email it. And then
That's what I've been
from
using.
there, you're
It's so simple for the customer to understand.
Let's see what else is there. Some big things here. You can pencil multiple vehicles. So, maybe the customer's also interested in a different vehicle and you want to pencil a deal for that other vehicle. You can just, add a new deal on a different car and just start back over here where you pick your vehicle and let's just say it's, maybe it's a different Grand Caravan. And then you want to use that template again, just hit create deal. There it is.
Nice.
And then you want to send it to me or print it. You just come here to do it.
I like that.
Yeah, a few other things too. I mean, if you're a manager and you see yourself spending the majority of your day inside the desking tool, there's a few neat things here. I mean, you can close out a deal, for instance, and if you want to take a look and see what's going on with your showroom activity, you can just click the showroom activity, and this is going to show you what customers are here. It's going to allow you to check off.
check.
You know, if your salesperson touches the tower and says, "Hey, look, you know, I'm working with Doris, and so far, we've done our needs analysis. We did the walk around. We did the test
See, I
drive.
didn't even know that
We check off
existed.
those steps."
Is that how you check them off in the morning?
No, I go to a different way to check them off.
Yeah, I go to the showroom activity.
Mhm.
is what I
On
look
the-
at.
So now we can look at deal activity, desk log, search.
There's all kinds of insights has changed, but it used to be different.
Yeah.
So getting familiar with insights, once you get familiar with it, it'd be pretty easy.
I like it.
Appointments, if you want to see what's coming up in the day,
All
if
kinds
you want
of
to see what things, what appointments were missed today. So that can be viewed from here too. And
that's
then
from
if there's
starting
any
the
like
deal?
links,
That's-
looks like you got quite a few different links you can bounce into. If you need to, you got quite a bit here. So these are just kind of quick ways to bounce off and.
Right. YouTube. What kind of YouTube up?
And then here's a list of all your deals that I think it's 25 most recent deals, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to look at
So
something that
we
you
can
did
look
earlier
at-
in the day,
right.
It's an easier way to go get it.
Then we can find out, hey man, so-and-so called them. I know we didn't make the deal, but I can give them another 500 for their trade,
Yeah.
That's what I'm always digging into. I like it. I think it's a big refresher
So
course,
I've got to
It is.
I've
There's
got to
a lot of
bounce
things
off.
I
I've got
didn't
another
know.
call here at 1
Okay.
o'clock. I'd be happy to schedule some time with you guys again and take you through some more stuff.
Do you have any questions, Steve?
Not for this call, no.
Okay.
Because I
So,
haven't had a chance, I didn't show you the video emailing, the video text messaging. Those are big things.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I guess you're out of time and stuff. I want to see what kind of deal we can get on that Target Pro.
well, and we
Later
want to
on.
set up a time for the service manager to be in touch so that he can,
See the
the
campaigns and stuff.
templates for campaigns or what he should be doing.
Yeah, let's.
So can
yeah,
we
I'll
set up
probably
another
schedule
date and
something.
time that we can
Yeah,
continue on?
absolutely. Let me check my schedule here. Tomorrow, would tomorrow at 2 p.m. work? 2 p.m. Central Time?
Yeah, I think we can get the service manager up here, and then Steve and Debbie may have some questions about the service part, custom videos, all that. So,
Okay.
2 o'clock tomorrow.
Perfect. And
All
I'll
right.
send a meeting invitation, and I'll get that sent out probably within the hour, and that way you can forward that invitation along to whoever you'd like to attend, and we'll just do it on like a virtual meeting like this. I'll send my meeting information. We'll be able to click on a link and come back and we'll meet here again tomorrow
Okay,
at
that's
2 p.m.
2 p.m. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
all the
Thank
help.
you for your time today.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.